Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my backyard. Today we're going to do a little log pickup, which is always fun. We got some nice weather today. It's about like 45 degrees, mid-October. Starting to get into some serious fall weather here in Minnesota. So I saw this log pop up on Craigslist, so let's take a look at the listing. The biggest unknown about these type of pickups, these urban logging pickups, is going to be like the logistics of actually getting the log onto your trailer, getting in position at the property, because it's always going to be a little different. So I try and glean as much information as I can from the listing and do a little bit of investigation work prior, so I kind of know what I'm getting myself into, but there's always still a little bit of an unknown. So this log looks relatively large. Judging by the things that it's sitting around, it looks like the base of the tree is maybe 3 foot in diameter, somewhere around there, and we have some pretty good sized splays out there at the crotches. Now there is one chainsaw cut in the trunk of the tree. Doesn't look like it goes all the way through. And actually, as I emailed the person that listed this, I asked specifically about the condition of that. Said that cut was the only one on the log and doesn't go all the way through, so it might not be too big of a deal. Now one piece of information that's missing is the species of the tree. So one of the things we can do to try and figure that out is look for leaves or things around the tree area in the pictures, look at the bark, look at the color of the end grain, and try to determine what the actual species is. Now on this tree, there's some leaves sticking out from the trunk, and from that view, it looks like they're sort of oval leaves. They're not a compound leaf or anything like that, so it's not walnut, even though the color of the end grain might look like that. The oval leaves and the color of the end grain being kind of brown like that indicates to me that it's probably an elm tree. So I can take that a step further and get some more information as well, and once I have the address for the actual property where this is at, I can go on Street View and take a look and see if I can find the tree in the pictures. And sure enough, it's there. It looks like an elm tree, so I am reasonably sure this is some kind of elm which is sitting there in that yard. The other thing we can determine based off the Street View is how big the log is. So looking at it up against the house, we can see the different stories of the house, and we can compare the cut locations on the log to the areas on the house and kind of get a relatively good idea of what the overall length is. So judging by where they cut it off at the base, as well as how far up it was cut off, it looks like it's probably around 8 feet long. So that's the general information I have to go off of what I'm about to get myself into. It's one of those things I enjoy about this process, is the unknown and figuring out these small details before you get there to really prepare and plan for what you're about to get yourself into. So with that all figured out, let's get this trailer hooked up and get loaded up with all the gear. So real quick, let's go through the things that I'm bringing with me. So first off, I have my winch battery. Of course, you're gonna need that. I have a chainsaw. I just have the small one today. My big saw is not really running right now, so can't really use that for anything, but hopefully won't have to make any big cuts. It's more for those instances where just making a quick cut is going to be faster and easier than wrestling with something for a while, trying to get it on the trailer. I also have 2 chains. I like to have 3 of them with me, so I have 2 in the truck, and then I have 1 here that's holding the arch down on the trailer. 2 for sure on a bigger log. The 3rd one just in case if one gets stuck underneath the log or whatever. It's just easier to have a extra chain laying around. For rigging, I also have this link, this shortener, which comes in handy too for grabbing things in different places. In the back there, I have my log tongs. I don't think this is gonna be that necessary for this one, but I have them, so I bring them anyway. That's gonna be useful if you need to get the log off the ground a little bit to get a chain around it or something like that. This one looks like it's up on some logs already, so that shouldn't really be all that necessary. I have my long cant hook, which is 6.5 feet long, a pry bar, and then my 5-foot PV. Probably won't need them, but again, helps to have them. Got a high lift jack, again, just for moving things and shoving things around. That comes in pretty handy. I have an extra chain binder back there, as well as the ones already on my trailer. Over here, I have a couple of bottle jacks. One I'll use to support the back side of the trailer, because one of those trailer jacks is broken. So one will be for that, and the other one will be for a spare in case I need to maneuver something. Also, through my Street View snooping, it's looking like I'll probably have to go over a curb to get into the yard, so I have some blocking here to make the approach a little bit less violent for the trailer and maybe the truck. And then over here I have some blocking that's going to go down on the lawn where the support jacks are going to go, so they don't really dig into the lawn. I also have a tape measure, which will come in handy to see how big this thing is. And then on the trailer again, the other chain with the binder, I've got the pair link with the hook on a shackle there. The other shackle there is installed. I have a spare shackle up here with the snatch block, so I have that, and should be good to go. Yeah, this is gonna be actually kind of hard to get at with those other locks there. Good thing I brought my PV and cant hook so I can move that entire pile of small stuff over. This is gonna be a little bit longer pickup, but at least I'll get my workout in today. So this log is significantly big. I think this will be something I'll take as well. Probably won't fit on this trailer with this trip, so I'll have to come back for it. Now I have some more room. So people wonder why I don't pay for these logs. Look how much work it is to get them out of here. I'm paying for it. Time and effort. Okay, now I get my truck in here and stop blocking the street. It's probably my least favorite loading position, downhill. All right, so we gotta spin this thing around. So I'm gonna rig it up and hopefully it should follow. I might have to move the truck and reposition after a bit, but yeah, we don't know until we start tugging. Alright, so here's where having that extra chain comes in, because this chain's not long enough to now reach the arch. So I have to span it with this extra one here. Okay, so it's time to do the first lift. With this, really, it's just about seeing what the log looks like it wants to do, and just getting more familiar with it. That might need to go a little tighter. Alright, let's see this thing wants to spin. That's a heavy one. Let's get a little more lift on it. I think we're good to just go, actually. It seems to be lining up pretty nicely. I think the chain's the right length, so let's just go on. I got a little carried away. The chain's a little too short, so just get it up a little bit and we can get the chain unhooked. All right, next lift. I haven't mentioned how much I hate loading downhill. All right, it's on there. I'm gonna get this thing onto the street and then I'll chain it down so I'm on a little more level ground because this is getting kind of ridiculous. All right, now I gotta walk around and see where all my stuff is. Hey Phil, I found your wrench. It was under my sawmill. It got buried in the snow and sat there out there all winter. So if you want your wrench back, I can send it back to you. So a little bit of adventure. I was worried this one would be too straightforward and boring for this to be an interesting video, but it did provide a little bit of a struggle, which is something that I enjoy. I enjoy that on-the-fly problem solving, so that's always fun. So next thing for this is I'll trim up the ends a little bit and get those sealed with some anchor seal so it doesn't end up checking on me. But instead of doing that, I thought I'd just answer one question that I've gotten recently, which has to do with the trailer. And the question was, now that I've had the trailer for a few years, I've used it a lot for moving logs around. What are the things that I don't like and what are the things that I do like? So there is one thing that we'll kind of touch on today. So the one thing that I love about this trailer is the length. It's only 10 feet long in the deck, so it makes it really nimble and really easy to get into awkward places for kind of more challenging pickups. Like today, I was able to back this thing up to the pickup site without my truck blocking both lanes of the road. If it was a longer trailer, my truck would be over into the other side of the road and I'd either have to block the road or have my truck angled, which isn't nearly as convenient. So having that shorter length helps out a lot for these tricky urban logging type pickups, and it actually helps to get you in some really tight spots that you wouldn't be able to get at if you had a longer trailer. Conversely, what I don't like is the length. With the shorter length, it is very hard to get enough tongue weight onto the front end of this trailer. So if I had a purpose-built trailer for this, I would probably make it a little bit longer, maybe 12 feet. That still gives you the nimbleness of this shorter length, but it also allows you to have a little more space in front of that front axle to put more weight onto the tongue. And before I forget, here are the leaves that we could see in the picture of the log. So this is an elm tree. I'm not exactly sure what kind of elm that is, but that is an elm leaf. Also got some burls and stuff going on here, which is pretty cool. So I'll get this thing loaded onto the mill and we'll get it cut up pretty soon. I hope you enjoyed this kind of adventure and checking this side of things. That I've gotten a lot of requests from people to show more of this process, and hopefully that helps to see that things don't always go perfectly right, but if you have some ideas and you're creative, you can get this stuff done and you can move stuff like this, which is probably around 5,000 pounds, right around there. Pretty big log. I'm looking forward to seeing what's inside of here, although with these chainsaw cuts on here, you might be losing a good amount of this log, but we'll have some short stuff to cut as well. So Thank you, as always, for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments about urban logging, the sawmill, anything back in the shop, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.